So I have an idea. I don't have the viscosity diff fluid that I want to use. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to combine shock oil, which is also can be used. If it's like really thick. Even if it's not, it can still be used. This is like an 800 CST. It recommends, I think most two-wheel drive buggies are recommended somewhere around 5,000 CST, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I have some 500,000. I'm going to add a few drops to this to make it somewhat sticky, and then I'm going to fill the rest up with this because I want a little bit of diff action, but not a lot. I mean, I need it to be a little bit, nothing crazy. So what does it show here? It shows that this guy is essentially in here like that, right? Is that really supposed to be like that? I guess so. Interesting. But then it shows an O-ring. I'm going to use my little Allen wrench, push that O-ring down just a little bit to get it nice and seated. I have to push it down anyway because there's actually a little bitty pin that has to go in here. So again, all I'm doing is using this Allen wrench to push that down very gently. It's going to go on top of that O-ring, just like that. Now I'm going to put this dude back in there. Try to get it lined back up. So now O-ring and then this little, looks like a metal shim or something, just like that. So the reason why is because this big gear here is going to fit on top of that. And it's got like a little, it's like cut out. So it fits perfectly over that piece. So just like that. Very nice. You can kind of see it. There you go. Nice. All right. So that's done. What's next? Well, now it's the spider gears. They're going to sit on top of that. And so it has these little shafts here. They're keyed. Looks like they fit on top of each other to make it like an X. You're just going to slide those on. Gears facing inward. I'll show you what it looks like once I get it all put together. The first thing I'm going to do, I put one gear in backwards. Come on, man. Why did I do that? I don't know. I messed up. Gear's supposed to face inward. We'll do one at a time. And I'll show you what I'm doing here. It's got to bear with me because it's hard to explain this without like, all right, so you see how there's a notch in that? So I'm going to place this one, I'm going to build the other one now and face that notch downward so that it fits nicely, right? Just like that. Now you can see the gears are all rotating. Hopefully get a good image of that. Like clockwork, right? Feels very nice and precise. Feels good. Okay, before I proceed with the other half, there is, before I add, well, let's do this first. Let's actually add, let's just build the other half real quick. It's going to kind of go together the same way. We've got an O-ring that I'm going to push down. It's going to fit in that little slot. Just be careful with it. You don't have to just kind of work it all the way around. And then find your other shim. As long as you can find it, you're great. There it is. That way you don't forget it this time like I did. Then you have your little pin. Nice. Put your other gear on. You actually don't have to because we're going to put it in here. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. So that side's sitting there. There is a little gasket, so don't forget that. And it's going to go on the inside here. But what am I going to do first? Well, I'm going to pick up my very heavy 5,000K diff fluid. I'm not going to use that much. I'm literally going to do like a couple drops or 2 or 3 or 4 drops. So I'm going to put drop here. It's kind of hard to do a drop. It's just going to have to be kind of continuous. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there because then I don't want a ton in there because I don't want it to be locker, right? So now I'm going to take my 60 weight shock fluid and just kind of put the rest of that in there. I've done this before. It gets me really close to where I want to be. So now I'm just going to rotate that and let the gears kind of just sort of mix it all around. And at first it kind of doesn't do a great job, but some of it fell down, so that's good. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm just working that gear back and forth until all the silicone fluid has sort of kind of got enough in there. You don't have to overfill this thing. It's going to do its job, especially when you add that 5,000, excuse me, 500K, just a little bit to kind of help it move around. So now I'm going to put this other gear in like this. I'm going to line this up with that, and I'm going to get my screw holes lined up. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot my gasket. Nice. It's got some very nice screws that are going to go in there. It looks like you might need a 1.5. Yes. Yeah. Don't want that. I'm going to get the other screw started. Sometimes I just use my Allen wrench to line that back up. Let's get the other one started so it doesn't keep pulling up on me. So that side's started. Let's start the other, get the other two started. I don't like putting them down all the way just yet. I want to leave a little bit of a gap because I have seen where if you don't get the gasket lined up perfectly, you'll pinch it or tear it or get a hole in it, and it's not doing its job anymore. So I just left a little bit of a gap all the way around. You can kind of see it. So I want to make sure that gasket's perfectly lined up. That's all I'm really trying to do. And then I just do a crisscross pattern, kind of like you would if you're putting on, you know, wheels or something.